I completed 500 laps around a single track in F122, and this is what happened. I am playing on a controller and haven't really raced on the F122 game, so my only goal was to be less than a second away from the world record. The only other rule is that I have to complete the 500 laps in 24 hours, and if I fail to do so, I have to do another 500 laps live streaming and doing a Q&A on a track you guys pick. The game has changed how restarting work. When you restart, you lose the lap, so if I restart, I'm not skipping a lap. My personal best when I started was really slow, since I just wanted to feel how the car handles on this track, so it was pretty easy to beat even though I was using the full setup for the first few laps. I improved on lap 5 and then again on lap 19. After I done this, I decided it was time for a custom setup. If you're wondering, the only assist I was using was the racing line and anti-lock braking. As soon as I got out of the pits, I spun, and once again I spun. But finally on lap 30 I managed to improve my lap. My lap time was a 1 minute 05.3, and with all of that confidence, the next lap I once again spun. On lap 42 I completed the first hour and still haven't improved. I only completed 42 laps in the first hour because of all the mistakes I made, but I was learning the track. Only a few laps later, on lap 44 I improved to 105, and it felt there was a lot of improvement left. I then went to check the world record and saw it was 103.6. That meant I had to do 104.6 if I want to complete this challenge. Lap 45 was good, but I lost the car going into the last few corners and it took me more than 30 laps, but on lap 76 I once again improved to a 104.9, only 3 tenths away from my goal. So at this time I was confident I could easily do it, but it wasn't as straightforward as that. A bit more than 2 hours in, and on lap 98 I improved to a 104.8. This is where it got terrible. I recorded all of my gameplay to show you this was real, and the link will be in the description. Hour 3 passed and no improvement. Hours 4, 5, 6 and 7 was without improvement. I was on lap 278 and got close a few times but didn't improve at all. Once you reach lap 200, the game delta is completely broken, and I was willing to ignore it, but the lap timing was also not working, giving me a 106, and when I manually timed it, it was still a 104.9 like I've been doing for a while. I was stuck on that time because the pressure to improve was so much. Each time I got a green delta, I would mess up the lap. I played around with the setup but nothing worked, and then on lap 283 I was green going into the last corner but lost it all. On lap 300 and almost 8 hours in, I was still yet to improve, and it was more than 200 laps since I last improved. This was a big problem mentally. I knew if I was just able to improve a bit, I wouldn't feel the same pressure to improve. I even changed the car settings to equal, but that didn't help. I then had a look at my session best times and saw this. My 5 best times was separated by 0.02 seconds, and the saddest part was I last improved on lap 98. I knew with the setup I wouldn't be able to do anything, so I went in a completely different direction. I went with lower downforce. This way I would gain a lot of time in the straights and just need to try and keep up the pace in the corners. And then on lap 323 it happened. Now I'm not talking about improvement, my game crashed, so I decided I've been playing for more than 8 hours non-stop, so I got up, made some coffee and went back. I then decided to do a race just to clear my head a bit. Of course the race would be around Austria. I only did 14 laps and decided to stop. I wouldn't count this 40 laps to my total since it wasn't time trial. I then went back to time trial and this was starting to look better, and then this lap happened. I was only 37 laps into the session, so I was on lap 360, and 10 hours in when this happened. My first 2 sectors was red, but this wasn't going to stop me, and even after the last corner I had a red delta, but I had a good exit and managed to improve. This finally broke the pressure, and only 4 laps later once again I improved. 6 laps after that, on lap 47 I once again improved, and all of these improvements were small, but it was getting me closer to that 104.6. Right now I was only a tenth away with 130 laps to go, but I started struggling once again. I started restarting more. I knew I had more than 13 hours left, but only had 130 laps left. I played another hour and a half and reached lap 382, but decided it was it for the day since I have done more than 11 hours. I went to bed and woke up the next morning certain that I would be able to achieve my goal. I did 55 laps and 2 hours have passed. Once again, every time I got close to improvements, I would make a mistake and lose the lap, but I wasn't going to give up this easy. Another 2 hours have passed and I only did 32 more laps. I only did 32 laps because the laps was running out, so I restarted a lot more. There was only 31 laps left and 9 hours, so if a lap wasn't good I needed to restart. Then a few minutes later on lap 92 I had a great lap, having a good turn 1 and even gaining some more time in turn 3. The next turn was great, my delta was positive and I just needed to complete this lap to achieve my goal. I tried braking a bit later than usual since I was giving this lap everything I got, but I went wide and lost the lap, but I had the confidence I needed. And then on lap 495, 17 hours into the challenge, I had a good turn 1 but an insane turn 3. I knew I only needed to complete this lap, then it would be done. I knew this was only possible because I didn't give up. I was basically repeating the Lewis Hamilton team radio from Turkey 2020. That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too. And at that moment I touched the curb and lost the car. I then gave up and deleted the game. Well, it's not completely true. I deleted the game but on my PC and I was playing on my PlayStation, so I didn't give up. The next hour I would only complete 3 laps and once again decided to go to sleep and try again the next day. I had 6 hours left and didn't have the same confidence as the day before, but I would still give it my everything. This feels like a good time to ask you to subscribe. I'm trying my best to get to 1000 subscribers before the end of this year, and like with my laps, my time is running out. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. It will only take a second and you can always unsubscribe later. I spent 2 hours completing a single lap, just restarting if it wasn't a flawless lap, but this was a big mistake because I would rarely reach the middle part of a lap, and when I reached it, it wouldn't be good at all. I even tried changing cars for some luck, but another 2 hours went by with no success. I had 2 hours left to complete this challenge and the grind would continue. For an hour left, I did this lap, but I was already over my 500 laps, so it wouldn't matter even if I reached this, but this made the pressure a lot less. Even if this lap is great, I did reach the lap limit, so it was over. I lost the challenge, and that means I have to do another 500 laps on the track you guys pick while live streaming it and doing a Q&A, so let me know in the comments down below on what track that should be, and as soon as this video gets me 30 subscribers, I will do the live stream. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next video.